Actually looked pretty good.
No, he's awesome. He's an All-American.
Steve, I can tell by the way you said that with so much authority that you were going to come in here today with your chest out at a different level.
Yes.
You yesterday, and we usually don't call out callers in particular, but the vitriol for which you went at or you responded to a Philly call per se.
Okay. Yeah.
Listening to you try to remind people when you felt like you shouldn't have to remind people.
I know.
That Jordan. Here's the thing, and you and I probably have done a disservice but we made this disclaimer pretty much the first 10 games of the year, 5 games of the year. We said, listen, every time we talk about predictions, every time we talk about players of the game, every time we talk about, X factors, Jordan is the easy answer. Jordan is the natural answer. Yeah. So we've lulled ourselves and we've lulled the audience into accepting not putting Jordan on lists a lot of times.
I'm okay with the higher expectations for an All-American. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that. What I'm not okay with, and usually, like I told you before, usually I don't argue with the minority in an argument because I'm like, there's no real reason to have this argument here.
Right. It's like the arguing with the 7-follower guy.
Yeah, right. But what I will argue is the Jordan Nwora doesn't show up thing. That's the argument that bothers me.
Okay. Give me a level of fairness on person because there's a group right now that says Jordan doesn't show up in big games.
I know, and I mean, here's the thing, and the same thing is you look at a 37-point performance on the road against Boston College. Virginia lost there. I'm saying, did you hear
Virginia lost?
Yeah,
at Boston College.
Did you hear him talking about over the last? And look, I know about Virginia, but I mean, the thing is, we know around here what it's like playing Virginia. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you go to a place where they've you were exercising a little bit of demons from last year. Mm-hmm. They talk about they were talking about on the thing. They said in the last 2 years, Duke's lost here, Carolina's lost here. Like Boston College gets some people here. 2 different teams, so I'm not doing. But you put 37 at 9:00 at night up on Boston College on the road. And if your comment to me is, well, it's Boston College, he don't show up in big games, I'm like, I got nothing. Usually that's what I reply with. But today I have something.
You know what? Add something else to that statement you made. He did that. And this is just a lesson. If you had in the back of your mind, if you sit around with your company and in any moment of this conversation, you've said, just because of Jordan's performances, he's on playing like that, he might be back another year.
Sure.
If you've said that, don't ever say it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one particular reason. Danny Ainge.
Right.
After Danny Ainge struck gold. Oh, good call, Tex. After Danny Ainge struck gold with Terry Rozier.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are the picks that make you a GM for life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you pick guys that aren't supposed to go lottery and then they go lottery and then they are awesome, right?
Yeah.
Where no matter where Danny Ainge is in the first round,
yeah,
he's going to find a way to put Jordan Nwora on his team because he did that right in front of Danny Ainge. And you think they didn't know that was the Boston Celtics GM sitting right in the front row?
Yes. Yes.
So get that thought out of your head that if he only averages this much, he's not going. No, he's gone.
No, he's 100% gone.
Senior night.
You honor him.
Yeah, start planning that.
He's an upperclassman, and that's fine. Like I'm always guy like, well, maybe but no, he's gone. And when I tweet out, last night, I usually don't tweet during games a lot unless it's just a simple like.
Because you don't want it to be held against you later on.
No. Oh no. I've got more control than that. I don't tweet out crazy negative stuff. But I don't tweet out during games a lot because like I don't want to deal with some of the replies because everybody's emotional during games. Mm-hmm. So if I tweet anything out during a game, it's just like let's go fire emoji or something. Last night I tweet out, even though I did have three tweets during the game last night. One was towards the end where I was like, I love this team when they knock down back-to-back threes and it's like everywhere. They can do everything right. As they're pulling away, I'm watching my racehorse just pull Secretariat down the stretch. Just like, God, he's so good. The other one I said, this will be a conversation for later because I think we'll start with Jordan, but said, might be time to, I don't know, put David Johnson back in. Just a small suggestion. I did.
Wait a minute. Well, listen. There is no tone to that.
That was 12 hours ago.
But how angry were you at that very moment you pressed done?
Because I probably had just looked at my wife and said, because I got to watch this one from home, just with the wife. The baby went to sleep, so we don't hardly ever.
Right.
First game all year, me and her just got to watch together and
right.
be engaged with it. So I literally looked at her and I'm like, hey, coach, might be time to, I don't know, put David back in. Like, God.
You were in your living room screaming at your wife that.
Yeah. I'm like, the funniest moment of the night was, I'm glad she don't record me, but there's like 2 minutes left in the half. And Ryan McMahon runs up to the scores table. And I turn around and I look at her and I'm like, Ryan's went rogue. I said, because there's no way in hell Coach Mack just sent him up to the scores table.
With 2 minutes to go.
He's went rogue. Ryan's just like, no, I'm checking myself in.
Ryan just ran by Coach.
It's like, I was like, he has no idea he's at the scores
table. Y'all
want
to win? Put Ryan in. I'm finna spin.
And look, and I like Ryan. And Ryan was fine last night. I thought he played good. He had a big shot. But the tweet I want to talk about was, I said, I swear, if I ever hear any more Jordan Morris slander, I said I'm gonna lose my mind. And let me read you some of the replies.
And see here, before you start,
okay,
don't make this so much of a minority, because people are itching. Think about this. Mm-hmm. You've listened to Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage for 3 years tell you Jordan Nwora is a monster.
Yeah.
He is a college freak monster. And if we finally started getting our real payoff this offseason.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So we've told you how much of an All-American he is before they even gave him his All-American titles, what I'm saying, and stuff like that, at least preseason or whatever. So here we are, in 18-3, 19-3. Whatever the record is right now, 18-3.
I think 19.
Okay, 19-3.
I'm sorry. I've got to get it on ESPN. I can't do a show with college, that sport, just on it. I don't want to say it because as soon as I say it, I play that sport. My kids play that sport. Like, yeah, I know. Sorry.
Okay.
I keep looking up and I'm like, no, that's what I want to see. I want to see Derrick Henry running through people.
Right.
Like, something.
You need adrenaline.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. So we've been saying this about Jordan Nwora, and the highest point total in ACC this year was just put up last night by Jordan Nwora.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep going.
So I get like 30 some responses to this. I'm not gonna read them all. I'm just gonna, but a couple of them. If only Boston College was a prime opponent. Okay. Well, thanks, Ashton. She says, been thinking of you this whole game. I don't know if that was in regards to Jordan Nwora or just in general.
Yeah. Either way, I'll take it.
Hey, just kidding. Thank you, though. I know what she meant. It says, let me see. We got a lot of, people mocking Philly Carl. And people showing up here, looks a lot of good stuff. So I'm not over just looking. But for the point of this, I'm reading the negative ones. Somebody says offensively
about Jordan,
because I said dude's a beast. I finished that tweet with that, or I said dude's a monster. So offensively, okay, he's just got to do it in big games. But that one didn't have a lot of stink on it though, because let me say they go on and they say hopefully with the emergence of Johnson and Perry he'll be a little more freed up and stuff. So there's not a lot of stink behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says against 10-10 Boston College late in January. Let's see what he does against Virginia and FSU. You already know what I said to that, so there's no need to even. I was like, he just gave Florida State 32 like 2 weeks ago. But okay. He takes too many bad shots. Somebody says against average teams, sure. That's a funny one. Says maybe we need to get an NBA GM on the floor for every game.
Maybe.
Fair enough.
We probably do most of the time.
Somebody says Wara just doesn't show up in big games. Somebody tells me against scrub teams, wake up. Okay. All right. Somebody says he's a monster when he lets the game come to him. I agree with that. That's a good one. Yeah. He can shoot. That's it. He's a below average defender. Doesn't block out. Weak ball handler. Makes bad decisions on the fast break. Doesn't play through contact. Lets lack of scoring affect the rest of his game. It's not slander if it's true.
Well, how are you All-American?
Yeah. So, let's see. Just saying. That's about it. There's a few more, but for the most part, some people get ugly. Some people get ugly. Yeah, it's like, come on, don't tweet me that stuff. Block you. I only block Kentucky fans. I don't even block Kentucky fans. I only block people that get ugly. Even the Kentucky fans, like, dude, if you're gonna talk,
don't be mean.
Yeah, don't be mean. But anyways, so we'll talk about. I don't know. Do you want to go to the phone line first,
I
or
can.
do you want to? Okay, because we'll talk a little bit about Jordan in
particular
in games. Yeah.
Seattle Paul, thanks for joining us on Morning with Marcus Maven. Stars off right.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Man, a great performance by Jordan. Wish he had hit a couple of those, one of those two last threes, just get the 40 points. But, hey, looking at the team now, would you rather have Jordan go off like this and have a couple other guys playing, good contributor roles, or having a balanced attack now that David and Sam are starting to score better? Going and like, what are you guys looking for kind of now that we're done with January, we got that home stretch of February going into March. This team should be rounding into form coming into March. I think we're primed for a run just based on, the slump that Jordan went on was actually the best thing that the team could have with Sam and David ability to score, and for Darius too.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the call. I'm going to bring up. This is kind of messing up. Danielle Lerner's tweet.
And while you're doing that, let me while you're finding that, let me throw this out there too, just to kind of answer his question here. Last night, do I want last night like it was, where Jordan has 37, Dwayne has 10, Darius has 14, and then everybody else in single digits? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I do like having an All-American that can do that for me, though, on a game like last night. Because make no mistake about it. Look, the one thing we haven't talked about, Boston College played awesome. They were hitting some great shots last night, and we were playing good defense. Coach Mack said it in the postgame. We could have been down 15. And a lot of teams, and been like.
We should have.
And been like.
Not necessarily should have. They played great.
Yeah. But we played really good. Like, even as much as I was ready to, even though I do think David should start, we'll get to that. But even though as much as I was ready to smack Fresh, now at the beginning of the second half, he was just terrible. But at the beginning of the game, me and you were watching a condensed game, and I'm like, dang.
It wasn't as bad.
Because he didn't play that bad.
Right.
I mean, but now the beginning of the second half, he's terrible. So, that's not, I would rather have it balanced a little more, sure. But last night was game specific.
Per Danielle Lerner, and this is kind of my response to someone who says slump. Jordan Wara, quote, "I can score 20 points every game if I really want to. It's not really about that this year. It's about winning games. I don't want to score 20 in a way that's going to hurt the team. So I just got to find shots at the right time and do my best job to help the team win."
Right.
Just so people understand, like, it's an adjustment turning in from scorer to winner guy to, to gameplay. Like, we're all adults and we've been watching basketball for all these years, right? He's what, 20 years old?
Mm-hmm.
He's 20 years old, just now starting to transition from like you don't get out of Buffalo without having some stupid scoring ability.
Yeah.
You don't get from Buffalo to Louisville without being such a offensive minded person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to explain to people, like, if you're on Sierra Canyon or these good what's the high school in West Virginia, studs, all studs come out of that. You got IMG.
Huntington
yeah,
Prep.
yeah, Huntington Prep. Here's the thing: at those schools, you can learn to be winners because you can play with other good players. But Buffalo, New York, you don't got a lot of talent around you on some travel team that's Oak Hill Academy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't learn how to play good team winning basketball because you don't get recruited by Louisville by playing team basketball out of Buffalo high school basketball.
Mm-mm.
It just doesn't happen. So kid that's not from powerhouse high school that gets scholarships to powerhouse colleges, they're usually deficient in working around. David Johnson is from powerhouse Trinity.
Yeah.
That's why he knows how to work the ball around, how to do it with multiple teammates. Like, he played with Jay Scrubb.
Go all the way back to the Big East, Marcus, to your point here. It's why we should know more than anybody when you play Providence, Seton Hall, help me out up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like St. John's, that's New York, but they always would have one dude. You're like, how is he that good?
Right.
Because he just played up there.
Right.
He played up there and he was a baller, and that's kind of when you play up in Buffalo, New York.
Yep.
I'm not knocking Buffalo, New York when I say it like that, but that's kind of the main scholarship you get. Providence, Seton Hall, those type schools.
Yeah, but you can play.
Yeah.
But again, you're not on travel team.
Right.
You don't have 8-9 guys that really know how to play. You don't know how to throw alley-oops if you're Jordan Wara.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan Wara wasn't on some travel team, sweeping the nation.
Yeah.
He was just a 6'6" dude that could shoot the lights out. And Coach Pitino said,
Yeah.
I can do something with that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
His stroke, I can do something with that. Body look like it's got a nice little frame. I'll get him in shape. Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you got to understand that Jordan's in a space where he's just now trying to keep his offensive prowess. I mean, the way he drops the ball to Darius Perry in transition, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have made that play before.
Yeah.
He's making that play now. So you act like you don't see improvement in every part of his game, every single game.
Now here's the thing. Gather around. Everybody gather around the radio right now, because we're going to today, I don't usually do this, but today we're going to hash this out. We're going to hash this out like family, like close family should do. And that's what I believe we are on this show. Because Texter says, like one Texter says, the big game criticism is fair. And I like Jordan. Then let's hash this out right now. Philly Carl, let's hash this out, everybody, because I'm going to give
big game criticism.
I'm going to present you stats. You present me where we're wrong. Going back to last year, against Tennessee.
That Tennessee.
Jordan Wara has 23 points and 10 rebounds.
Your boy had a double-double the other day.
By the way, shout out to my cousin Matt. He looked all these stats up.
Your boy had a double-double the other day up the road.
Richards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Local media is saying that's why he's the SEC Player of the Year. He had 15 and 11.
Yeah.
Jordan Wara had. And Jordan Wara is not a ball handler. So he doesn't go in the category of point guard that just always can shoot whenever he wants.
No.
Okay?
I know.
So he has to take advantage of opportunities that he finds. 23 and what against Tennessee?
23 and 10
Against that Tennessee. Keep going.
Okay. Against Marquette.
What was Marquette ranked?
They were ranked.
Like 11?
I don't know if they were ranked that high, but they were
I
in and
thought
out
they
of
were
the
high.
polls. 15-7. And really, he had 8, or he had 16. Because the 3 was a 3.
16-7. Listen, again,
16-7 in a win.
media members, a top 20 win. A top 20.
Well, they lost, but I'm saying that 3, they went to overtime.
Oh,
That 3
you
should have
cheated
been, yeah.
You cheated, Jordan.
We cheated all of us.
Well, still,
somehow.
that's a top 20 game, so that's a big game.
Yeah.
Right? On the stage, big-time tournament.
Michigan State, 14-9.
Y'all been handing out awards for 14-9.
In Bloomington, 24-14.
In Bloomington, Indiana, Steve could stop right now, and if you lump that into his 10 biggest games, you're only at game number 4, and he's had almost a double-double or a 15 and whatever double-double in all these big games.
I know. Against Kentucky last year, 17-7, and guarded P.J. Washington, who had 8 points.
Wait a minute. You mean Kentucky?
Yeah.
What was that line again?
He had 17.7 rebounds and held P.J. Washington to 8 points.
I think that's a pretty good performance.
It's a decent performance.
Statistically.
That's okay. Against UNC.
Wait a minute. So we're at number 6. We're at game 6 already?
Oh, well, I'm just doing big games. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
6 big games
yeah.
that he's had, numbers that you are crowning people over.
Yeah.
Keep going.
In Chapel Hill, he had 17 points and 3 rebounds.
Oh, he should get benched. In a win.
UNC, here, he had 11.7 rebounds.
11-7.
Against Duke, he had 23-12.
Against who? Duke?
Against the Duke Blue Devils last year with Zion, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, he had 23-12.
In that game, they should have won. And everybody knows they should have won, and Coach K knows they should have won.
Against the national champions last year in game 1.
You realize you're at 10 games?
Oh, I know. No, I know.
10 big-time games that he's had pretty much or damn near close to a double-double.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the bad days.
I know.
On the 13-7 days, it was good.
Yeah. He says, against Virginia, game 1, the national championship.
Virginia.
Right. Texter. I'm getting to that. 744, I'm getting to that because that's 100% the right answer because that's what it is all about, and that's what we're going to get to. Virginia, 17-4. In the second game at Virginia, 19-6.
One of the best rebounding teams and defensive teams in the country.
Mm-hmm. No, Texter. You don't get to say what the record was in that game because it's not about that. It's about
him
Jordan showing up
in the big games.
Don't move the goalpost and say, no, this is about did Jordan Nwora show up or not because that's what y'all are arguing. So now let's move on to this year. No, actually, let's not move on to this year because I want to give on. Against Minnesota.
In the tournament.
10-11.
Double-double.
And I don't think he played well in that game. Right. So I'm okay with that. I'm not saying that the dude is Superman and hasn't played in bad games.
No, but you're making it clear that the narrative that he's a no-show in big games is not true.
Right. Against Texas Tech, which everybody craps on him for. 14-9-3.
If Nick Richards gets 14-9-3.
What did Nick Richards have against Texas Tech that people were like, oh my God, he's the greatest player ever? 15-9. What was Nick Richards' stats against Texas Tech, Brian? Yeah, I'll let you pull it up. And the only reason I'm using Nick Richards, actually, Nick Richards is balling. So like, I know. I'm actually, and listen, we're kind of taking a bow on that because we even fought Kentucky fans. We're like, no, that kid's good. Nah, he sucks. Nah, he should be fired.
We-
Kicked off the
we-
team.
yeah.
25 points, 14 rebounds.
25 and 14. That's
awesome.
an awesome game.
That's
like
awesome.
that's an incredible game. Jordan had 14, 9, and 3.
Real stats.
Yeah.
people.
And you're the guy they're game planning for.
With a bunch of right.
And do you want me to tell you? I don't think he played great against Texas Tech. I'm not saying that.
Dude, 9 rebounds?
I know. No, I know. No, the point is I'm saying like I'm okay with saying, hey, Jordan didn't play great that day.
Like do you realize like the top rebounder in the conference averages 9 rebounds?
I know. Against Michigan, 22 and 12.
Did you think Michigan was the hottest team in the country with the hottest new coach in the country, and he put up what?
22 and 12. Louisville, what did Louisville score that game? 58?
That was a whiteout game?
Scored almost half the points of the team.
That was a whiteout or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Whatever it was hype.
The top number 1 versus number 4. Whiteout, he scores 22 and 12.
But just not the big games.
Against Florida State, 32 and 10. But now, let's get to what this whole freaking argument is about. Against Kentucky this year, 8 and 4, and played like dog piss.
And that's all you got.
And the whole freaking argument about Jordan Nwora is because some of you are just unhappy that he had one bad game in Rupp Arena. This kid shows up for every big game we play, but had one bad game against Kentucky.
His bad games in that stretch of 20 games, of 20 big games that he's played in his career, his bad games were 13 and 7. And what was that, 8 and 4?
Yeah, he had 8 and 4. And played awful. He played awful. And he got frustrated. And look, I'm not sugarcoating any of it. He played terrible down there. They were D'ing him up. He was getting aggravated. You could tell. It was bad.
Right.
It was bad all around.
Right.
Terrible game.
Right. A lot of pressure on the game.
Yeah, but I'm not even giving him an excuse. Just terrible game.
Oh, I do, because I've been.
I know.
This pressure's hard.
Right.
It's
No,
hard.
absolutely. Absolutely. Just bad. So is that why we're all angry at Jordan? We're not saying we're all.
Yeah.
I still think it's a minority.
Right.
That's why I hate having these arguments, because I think there's so many people
I
just like, no, Steve, we agree.
See, I want to dismiss it as minority, but it's just too many people that. And here's the thing: nobody has done that. What you just did, Steve. Nobody has done that. No, listen, everybody okay. The angry crowd is the vocal crowd, right?
Right.
Why has no contrarian news radio? That's what sells, right?
Yeah.
Contrarian. So the loud voices of Jordan, of anti-Jordan, they should have got a contrarian pushback. Where's the smart guy that says, no, y'all are wrong about Jordan? You know, where's the smart guy that brings up the stats to defend Jordan?
I mean, I'm not
Right
necessarily
here.
smart. I guess it's me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, yeah.
Right. Because
My cousin, because
Right.
he's the one tweeted this out 2 weeks ago.
Every single time the vocal majority
Yeah.
is saying something about sports, you get the push. You get the pushback.
Yeah.
You get the defense, or like I said, the contrarian.
Yeah.
But I just didn't hear it on Jordan. We're stat guy. Like, I don't have to be stat guy, because I can sit here and tell you, hey, David Johnson's going to be a good player on Louisville's team. He's going to play next year. Hey, let's pump the brakes on Jordan.
No.
And I'm like, no. When he gets here, you don't have to pump the brakes. The dude can pass. There's a reason you win a state championship. I saw his teammates.
Yeah.
That wasn't a state championship roster.
I know.
Have you seen the video of David Johnson's Trinity team? And no disrespect to the young fellas, right?
Well, his senior year.
Yeah, his senior year.
He played with some talent while he was there over the years. Yeah.
You won a state championship
Yeah.
with that roster.
Right.
I've seen it. I don't have to pump the brakes.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's going to matter is, can he D up? And I knew he could D up already. And I knew he was long enough to overcompensate while he catches up with the speed of the game.
Yeah.
I seen the way he passes. In 2 seconds, he's gonna be a good college basketball player. Well, technically, his stats, the things say, coach, it must not be something. No, he's just catching up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Lawrence, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Lawrence.
How many college teams this season got a 6'8" power forward who shoots 44% for 3-point land, who rebounds about 7 to 8, 9 times a game? It's not too many teams in the country right now who got that, and we got that. We should be happy that we got a guy who's going to probably end up being a late first-round pick. We're going to probably end up playing the NBA for the next 10 to 15 years. I don't understand. Y'all want him to throw a lot of points, but now that everybody else stepping up, he's trying to find his way in this offense where he can't actually get the points y'all actually want him to do. Like, what more do y'all want Jordan to do? He's doing everything he can to help this team win games. Y'all need to get off this.
Listen, Lawrence, I appreciate the call. No, they want to bash him until he gets out of here, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as you hit the Final Four, you want to talk about what are they going to do when he leaves? You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like you won't start talking about how good he is until the moment he declares for the draft, because then it's going to turn into, oh my God, they'll never be able to replace a player as great as Jordan Ward.
I know.
The moment his last game hits, he'll become the greatest talent to ever grace a Louisville basketball
Absolutely.
game. I've seen it a million times. Louisville Larry, thanks for joining us on Middays with Marcus Maben. Fire away.
Hey, listen, guys, I understand it's talk radio. Steve Rummage, you got to slow your roll, buddy. Nobody's bashing Jordan Norwell. Nobody's doing that. What we're saying is, and this happened last night, went out late night with the wife, got some wings, watching the game. You know, the first thing she told me, where was this against UK? Where's all this against Kentucky? Star players are born under pressure. Maybe you know that. You're a GOAT. We wouldn't have won the Duke game.
There's no way you heard. There's no way, Larry, you heard anything I just said. If you're saying star players are born under pressure.
Well, listen. What I'm saying to you, Steve, is that game matters. This is Louisville.
Is that the only game that matters to you?
Yeah. Okay, so Larry, you're making my point.
Listen to me.
Well, hang on, Larry. Larry, it is our show, so I mean, like, we'll talk first, and then we'll let you talk. Yeah. So, like,
the heartbeat of this city, Louisville, is the Cardinal basketball program. That team 60 miles east is the game that matters. I don't care where you go. You ask anybody in the city. I don't care about beating Duke. I don't care about beating. Give me that victory, and then we'll be okay. I'm sorry. Listen, I speak to the people. You have to laugh all you want. I'm sorry, Marcus.
No.
When you hoop, what game matters to you, Marcus? What game matters?
Duke,
Hey.
North Carolina,
yeah, it does,
Georgia
you know
Tech,
when
Okay,
I don't care
Illinois,
that you win it, Duke.
UCLA.
You listen. You guys have got to be politically correct. I understand that. I'm gonna fall back. I know I speak the truth.
He
I'm
had
a
17-7 against Kentucky last year.
Okay, what did we win last year?
Well, that's not. It's not Jordan. You're saying Jordan.
Listen, Steve. How many points do you have? I don't want to argue with you guys. You're missing the point. I know, because I live in this city. I live in Diet Cardinal basketball. When we were beating UK, it's horrible to hear these Cat fans say they own us. It's the truth. We got to eat it every day. I'm sorry, and that's the truth. Louisville Larry out. Y'all have a good day.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, so listen, as much as we're going back and forth with him, I can understand. You're at least Larry is saying, look, I don't really care about the rest of the season. Because all I care about is the Kentucky game. And he played like piss there, so I'm mad at him. If you can at least say that, what Larry just said, I could care less about Louisville Larry just called in and said, I don't care that they went to Cameron and beat number 3 Duke. I could care less about that. Think about that. What if you can at least call in and say, look, I don't care what this team does the rest of the year. If they lose to Kentucky, it's over. At least he had enough in him to call and say that. Then that I will grant you. I'll say, look, if that is where you're at, and that's
Right.
fine, because to his point, there are a lot of people that are like that in the city.
Yeah.
On both sides, in the state, that it's like, no, that game is what it is, hands down, period. You win that game or you lose that game,
I can't do that.
No, I can't. No, 90% of the fan base can't. That is a minority call. Because you're not going to find 10 people that will call in and say, I could care less if they go beat Duke and Cameron.
I mean,
they lost to Kentucky.
Like, do you realize a Louisville schedule? Like, you play. I'm gonna just go through it, Steve. North Carolina, Purdue, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Just Illinois. You know, like all these teams and all these games. Kentucky. You know, like the world is so big. The college basketball world is bigger than Louisville and Kentucky.
I know. That's what I say. But again, if you can at least have enough to say that's the only game I care about.
If you win that game and then he stinks it up against Michigan and Duke, they'd be saying the same thing. If he had a good game against Kentucky and you stink it up against Michigan and Duke, you'd be saying the same thing. Jordan ain't a big game player.
Well, sure. But my point today was the stats show you. He just didn't show up against Kentucky. It was a bad game.
But it's not a personality thing. Mike, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away. Mike, you there?
Yeah, Mike.
Fire away.
Hey, I'm a first-time caller, Steve. Marcus.
Appreciate the call.
Appreciate it, man.
I had to chime in. I just couldn't stand all this huddle ragging on Jordan. One thing about it, I'm thinking about this. We have Joel Embiid. He's probably the top 3 and number 5 in the NBA. If I recall, didn't he have a game where he didn't even score a point?
Right.
I'm sure.
Yeah, everybody talked about it.
Give me a break, okay? The guy's had one bad game. And he's second leading scorer in the whole entire ACC. Give me a break, people. And the guy had one bad game. I'm gonna hang up and hear your all's comment.
I appreciate the call. Like everybody has bad games.
I know.
But the narrative, again, the point of Steve's, of Steve's stat breakdown, comparative analysis, is in 20 big time games, he has had unreal games. Michigan was a huge game. Both Duke games, like they're huge games. People who leave games with 15 and 8 and 15 and 9, they go to the league. Sophomores that have 23 and 12 against Duke, they go to the league. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
he almost did.
He could have come back shooting everything, scoring everything. Like, he could do that. He could have a lot higher numbers. He could be forcing it. This is a more well-rounded team. You come back to school, your scoring is going to suffer.
Sure.
On good teams.
Yeah. No, he said that. You read the quote where he told Danielle Lerner, I could score 20 every night if I want to. I mean, Marcus Howard scored. We could be Marquette. He could average 29 a game and show up for, quote unquote, show up for every single game. Be a 10 seed.
And then you know what you say? You say, but at least Jordan showed up. He gave that fight. Got blown out by 20. But he had 28 and 9.
Yeah.
He could go get 28 and 9.
Listen, the main point of this, man, is I feel like we're having I'm not comparing him to Lamar Jackson, but I feel like even though he is a player of the year candidate, so I guess the comparison is somewhat there in college.
But Lamar was the best quarterback to play that couldn't play according to most people.
Right.
He was the best quarterback in college who couldn't read defenses, who couldn't make the right decisions, who couldn't take care of the ball, you know what I'm saying, who couldn't be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Jordan Warren is the best basketball player in college basketball who his city doesn't think he can play.
Right.
He can't dribble. He can't make passes and good decisions. He shoots all bad shots, and he's not clutch.
Yeah. Right. So,
Dana, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Hey, guys. I'm sorry. I was just listening to the Larry caller earlier, and almost wrecked my truck. So does that mean he gets to keep that same energy if this team wins the national championship?
Listen, Dana, you're right. I
No,
mean,
because he doesn't care about national championships.
Yeah.
He cares
So
about
a
Kentucky.
national championship doesn't mean anything, but a win against Kentucky is everything.
Unless you beat Kentucky in a national championship, that's the only way it counts.
I just wanted clarification. I'm going to go ahead and say it, and if I get in trouble for saying this, that was probably one of the most idiotic things I've ever heard. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. Okay, I'm done. You have a good day, fellas.
Dana, I appreciate the call. Listen, I don't care about Duke ends the conversation.
Yeah. That's when I stopped because I'm like, okay, well then I'm fine with that because if you call in and at least you just say, look, the Kentucky game's all that matters to me. It's been a piss poor decade for you, sports decade. I'm sorry, but
Chris, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
Hey, guys, how you doing today?
good, man. What's up?
Hey, probably the best moment of the game last night was when Perry went for the layup, and I think he realized that he kept Jordan from getting the 40. You could see him turn around and say, man, sorry about that.
Yeah, he did.
And then the second thing, how many games do we need to win in Atlanta to bring it home?
6.
Well,
And we've won how many in a row right now?
yeah.
7.
It's 8, 9. Yeah.
Man, we got real first world problems. Jordan he hasn't listened to the noise and let people get in his head. If he does what everybody wants him to do, then he takes game away from everyone else. When he gets a chance to get hot like he did last night, let him flow. And when he's not, let somebody else flow.
No, listen. I appreciate the call, Chris. Do yourself a favor. Go listen to the commentators.
Yeah.
Go listen to the condensed version commentators from last night's game.
Yeah.
Go ask go to ACC Network, right? And what they do on Fire Stick, on the app, the ESPN app, is they show the interviews of the other coaches.
Yeah.
Go look at their other coaches. Go listen to them talk about Jordan. When Jordan has 13-7, listen to the coaches talk about how much preparation went into Jordan Nwora during the week or the downtime.
Yeah.
Their entire defensive game plan is going into Jordan.
By the way, I feel bad for yelling at Larry. I don't like when don't let's converse. Don't call in and be like,
listen to me.
No, you listen to me. Like, no, just don't say that. He sounds like he's probably a nice guy. I think he likes Louisville. I don't mean to get.
He was like, "You had your turn to talk."
Yeah, like I don't care to get ugly like that with Kentucky fans, and it's like, yeah, sorry, I'm not apologizing for that, jackass. But I think I don't believe Louisville. Larry's not a Louisville fan.
Neither one of us are cut out for
like,
this.
I'm sorry. I just. I just don't like when somebody comes like, hey, no, you let me. No, well, hang on, no, I worked really hard to get in this position, so
I'm defensive.
I did this job for 2 years for free. So like, no.
So pardon me for being defensive about my opinion on this radio
It's my
show.
But yeah, I'm sorry about that. But anyways,
Why do we do that?
I know.
Why do we?
Then I feel bad because I'm like, gosh,
You argue somebody
well,
down.
I don't like Louisville on Louisville crime, man. Like Louisville fan on Louisville fan crime.
good
like
point.
you know, it's like, come on, man. Like we're all in the same family here.
You know what that's like? I hate catching somebody in a lie. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Because I feel bad about it right afterwards. Well, I thought you said you.
That I know, right?
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, Marcus.
And just eat it.
Yeah, Marcus. You
I'll eat the money, whatever. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like the conversation today, while I was bringing up Lamar Jackson, is I'm like, y'all just enjoy Jordan Nwora. Look, y'all got another month and a half, and you'll never see him again in a Louisville jersey. And if that's what you want, put up with him for a month and a half. But just enjoy this All-American play. You don't have many first-team All-American player of the
And
year
you don't
candidates.
have them for 3 years, really
Right.
2, but you definitely don't have them for 3 years.
Right.
That just doesn't happen.
It's going to be. I don't want you to next year watch the. And I think look, if if David's still here and Malik's still here and Sam and Scrubs here and you get another, like, no, they can have a great team next year. Like,
Right.
I'm excited about next year.
Right.
But it's still you're gonna wish you enjoyed watching Jordan Nwora take a game over like last night and not go, well, it's a great shot. He don't do it anywhere else. I'm just showing you he does. He does. And they've lost some of those games. Fair enough. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you did that to your eyeball, but
That was just the worst.
yeah, so.
I'll tell you. Uber Andre, thanks for joining us on 93.9 Fire Away.
What's going on, guys? So listen, I think the worst thing I possibly could have done is join some of these Louisville groups on Facebook because Jordan Wara is taking a beating. And I'm like, guys, do you know how many teams would love to have our problem with only 3 losses, probably going to end up being a 1 or a 2 seed?
All
with
300.
a team, yeah, with a lot of guys on the team that can score. And one of the biggest things that I see these people talking about is body language. I'm like, you know who didn't have the best body language? Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan. Did you ever question if they were playing hard or if they were talented? Some guys are just not rah-rah guys. They don't get out there and point fingers, scream. They let their play do the talking. And let me tell you something. If you have got to complain about Jordan Wara, where do you think we would be without him this year? Okay? Jordan Wara is the key to this team. We got a lot of guys that are coming along. David Johnson, obviously. All the freshmen, they're not ready. We don't see them in practice every day. They're playing behind juniors and fifth-year seniors. They will have their shot next year. Support Jordan Wara and the rest of the team. We really only need him to show out and go crazy for 4 games. I think we win the first 2 games in the NCAA tournament. Pretty easy. And then those last 4, coaches make adjustments. Then it's about coaching. It's not just about talent, okay?
Oh, no.
You got to support the team, and you got to support Wara. Marcus, you played. Rummage, you've seen enough. You guys know this. You can't just say, Jordan Wara, go out and get 30 every game. That's not how it works. What do you want the other guys to do? Stand and look? This is not NBA one-on-one. This is Michael Jordan carrying the team. He doesn't have to. Jordan has got help. He understands that. Let everything flow properly. And then when it comes to April and we're holding up the banner, then we can all celebrate. And if your only Louisville love is if we beat Kentucky, you are probably going to be in some trouble.
No.
Have a great day. That's all I got.
Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate the call. Like, people realize if you were just Jordan's rebounds, you realize he would still start, right?
Sure.
People start players who can go get me 9 rebounds a game,
Yeah.
8 rebounds a game. You know what I'm saying? If you have a power forward that's good for like without his rebounds and give him Dwayne's numbers.
Sure.
He's still a big time player.
Absolutely.
You made the point listening to Texas Tech games when they said he's a version of Louisville's Dwayne Sutton.
Yeah. You're watching Texas Tech play I can't remember who
Yeah, it was Big Ten, man.
yeah, it was Texas Tech playing somebody. It wasn't the Kentucky game. It was like the game before that. No, they lost maybe. So maybe it was TCU. But they said I'm watching some of the game and he says
Had nothing to do with Louisville.
guy from Texas Tech there, he's like, I can't remember who he was talking about, but he said, guy from Texas Tech there plays a lot like Dwayne Sutton up at Louisville. just hard-nosed, finds the ball.
And the reason I say that is because on a bad night, Jordan Wara's numbers look like Dwayne Sutton's numbers.
Right.
On a horrible night.
Right.
On a Dwayne great night.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Brian,
and that's no shade to Dwayne.
Yeah,
Dwayne's awesome. I love Dwayne.
Brian Hall, help us catch our breath. Help Steve really catch his breath.
I know.
YouTubers.
Baylor and Texas Tech.
Okay.
Good call. Yep, that was it. Okay.
YouTubers, I think I'm going to try to charge my computer up a little bit. So turn down your volumes, put up with the buzzing for a few minutes. Middays with Marcus Maven on 99 The Ville.
home stager, and photographer.
Nine rebounds, and the 37 points is the most points scored by a Card since Russ Smith, when he scored 42 in 2014, and it is the most by any player in the ACC this season. Chris Mack talked about Warrow's performance after the game.
He's a great defender, the best defender the other team has on him. They know every action that we run for Jordan. So he's going to have to try. And he's going to have to go earn some on the offensive glass. And I thought he did that. He got a couple around the basket. He got fouled. He got to the foul line a lot more tonight than he has all year. And I think that's what good scorers do. They don't do it in one way.
Up next for the Cards is a trip to North Carolina State on Saturday at 2 p.m. And you'll be able to catch that on ESPN. The 13th-ranked Kentucky men's basketball team improved to 16-4 last night with a 71-62 win over Vanderbilt at Rupp Arena. Tyrese Maxey led the way for the Cats with 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, and Nick Richards had 15 points and 11 rebounds. Up next for the Cats is a trip to number 17 Auburn on Saturday. That game is set to tip off at 6 p.m. You can catch that on ESPN as well. And also in college basketball news, the Indiana Hoosiers fell to 15-6 on the year with a 64-49 loss at number 24 Penn State. In football news, CBS came out with their latest mock draft yesterday, and former Louisville offensive lineman Mekhi Becton is projected at number 10 to the Cleveland Browns. And last but certainly not least, the number 5 ranked Louisville women's basketball team travels to Notre Dame tonight. That game is set to tip off at 7 p.m., and you can catch that on ESPN. Keep it locked here. Middays with Marcus Maben is next. This is SportsCenter.
On Sunday, February 2nd, the nationally ranked Louisville Cardinals women's basketball team will be hosting the USA national team as they target their 7th consecutive Olympic gold in Tokyo in 2020. Join us in the KFC Yum Center to see the Cards battle some of the best women's basketball players on the planet, including Cardinals Hall of Famer Angel McCoughtry. Tip-off is scheduled for 2 o'clock. The Cards and the USA national team on February 2nd. For tickets and more information, call 502-GO-CARDS or visit GoCards.com/USA.
Here's what you missed on the Diener Show.
People were really big fans of Billy Reed talking about spanking mint leaves.
Yes, I know that had Cooper mixtape material written all over it.
It was great. Any more comments on that, Billy?
Yes, you really do have to learn to spank the mint, and I think that's something that I probably not be very good at.
Weekday mornings